Welcome to Inventor. This is the 3D design software we're going to be using in class. Here is a model of a TIE fighter that I made. We're going to be learning how to make this today. To do that, we're going to learn how to make a 2D sketch, how to extrude, how to do a revolve extrude, and how to do a mirror. And if you follow along, you'll be able to make the same part as me. First thing we have to do is we have to make a new project. Going up over to here to File and clicking New. Now I want a new part. Here is my workplace. It might take a moment for Inventor to make your new part. If you look down in the bottom left corner, there will be text that will be popping up, and this will tell you that it's still working and not frozen. In Inventor, we always start with a sketch. This is a drawing that we will then pull into the third dimension. Coming up here, I can click 2D sketch. And then I'm given a series of planes. This is just like in math class where you have a X and Y, Z and Z plane. You can choose any plane you want. It's not really going to matter for this. I select the plane by clicking it. Now I'm taken into a place where I can draw. If I look at it from the side, I can see that this is two-dimensional. There is one axis here and one axis here. I can navigate around by clicking this navigation cube in the corner. I can click and drag and hold it to look around, or I can click one of the words to allow me to see it. I don't want to change my view too much because this is actually the view I want to draw in. First thing I'm going to draw is the circle in the middle of the TIE fighter. That is this part right here, kind of the cockpit. I'm going to click circle, and then I'm going to click in the middle of my design. And then I'm going to move my mouse again. I don't have to hold my mouse. It's waiting for me to either type in a dimension or click again. We're not going to worry so much about the dimensions for this part. So I'm just going to drag it till I like it, and I'm going to click again, and now it's there. There's one more thing I need to draw, and that is a line. I'm going to click line, and I want it to perfectly cut in half my circle. Because I started drawing my circle at the origin, that's easy to do. I just come over here to one of my axis lines, click on it where it meets the circle, draw across, and when it meets the other side, it will click into place along the other axis and along the other edge of the circle. And I can click again. That's everything I need for this first sketch. So I can come up here and click Finish Sketch. My picture is really zoomed in. I'm going to use the mouse wheel to zoom out. The mouse wheel zoom is a little bit weird. It's going to zoom wherever your mouse is pointed. If I point my mouse on this corner and I zoom in, it zooms on this corner. If I want to zoom on the other corner, I need to move my mouse over there and then zoom in. It's a little counterintuitive at first, but once you're used to pointing where you want to zoom, it's pretty easy. If I want to look at this from a few angles, I can click my navigation cube in the right corner, and I can move it around. And now I can see my sketch from all sorts of different angles. Notice that it's two-dimensional, like it's drawn on a piece of paper. I'm going to get a nice view of the top of it, and now it's time to turn this sketch, this 2D object, into 3D. And for that, I'm going to use the Revolve tool. I click Revolve, and then a menu pops up. And there's a few things I have to set in this menu. The first thing is I have to select what part of my 2D drawing I want to make 3D. I'm going to click the Select Profiles button, and I'm going to move it around. I only need half of my circle. In fact, if I select my whole circle, it won't work. So I'm going to make sure I only have half my circle. If you're getting your whole circle, try moving your mouse in or zooming in. All right, I click to select my half circle. Then I need to select my axes, and that is like your X, Y, or Z axis in math class. And for my axis, I'm going to select the line that I drew in my drawing as well. For me, it automatically drew what it's going to do when I say OK. But yours might not look this way. Yours might look like this. or maybe a little bit further. See, I accidentally clicked my second profile there. If this happens to you and your drawing disappears, clear the selections and select just one profile again. I could click and drag this arrow until I have as much of my circle as I want, or there's a button for that down here for full. Once I have my circle drawn and it's now fully revolved around, I'm going to say OK. And over here on the left, this is our part navigator. There's a few things going on there now. Now there's something called Revolution 1. If I hover over that, a green box appears around the part I just made. If I hit plus next to that, I can hover over the sketch 1, and that is the first drawing I made. Inventor will hide the drawing after you use it because it's been used up. We can modify that drawing later on, but we're going to wait on that for now. It's now time for me to make the rest of my spaceship. Looking back at my original drawing, I have these two bars coming out of the center cockpit. I need to draw those. Every drawing will start with a 2D sketch. But if I click Start 2D Sketch, there's nowhere for me to click like before. Instead, I need to come over here and read in my Parts Navigator. Under Origin, if I click that, I will get a series of origins, and I can hover over them to see which direction. As this is a sphere, and as I made it around the origin, again, it doesn't matter. So I click Start New 2D Sketch, and then I click the plane I want. I am now in another sketch. You know you're in a sketch because the rest of the navigation grays out and it highlights only the sketch you're on. I'm going to now use the rectangle tool to draw the new shape that I want to make. The rectangle tool is right up here, and if you can't see it, click the drop down arrow and you can find other ways. I want rectangle 2-point. I'm going to click somewhere about where I think it should be and go across to the other side about where I think it should be. You'll notice I'm not measuring too much right now. That's something I could add later, but I don't want to focus too much on measurements in this first video. I'm just going to move stuff till it looks about right. That is everything I need to draw for this next sketch. I can look at it from the side and see that, yes, it is still a 2D sketch. I will click Finish Sketch. Now that I've finished Sketch, I can click Extrude. Extrude takes a 2D shape and pulls it forward or backward. It's automatically highlighted the square for me that I want it to make because it was such a simple sketch. If it didn't do that, I can click the Select Profiles and then click the profile that I want. I can now say some different behaviors I want to do it. Do I want it to come this way towards me? Do I want it to go away from me? Do I want it to go on each side? Do I want to go to one side more than another side? In this case, I want it to go to each side evenly. And I can pick a number. I can either drag this slider until it's the way I like that it looks, or I could type in a number if I have a number in mind. Since I'm not worrying about numbers, I'm just going to drag it to what I think looks about right. And I can use it in my navigation cube here to get an idea of what it's going to look like. And I think that looks fantastic. When I'm happy, I will click OK. Looking over at your part navigator, we'll see that now not only, I'm going to close a few of these, do I have a Revolution 1? I have an Extrusion 1. And if I hover over them, again, I can see the glowing to indicate which one I'm using. The last thing I need to add is these really sweet wings. And to do that, once again, we're going to start with a sketch. I'm going to move my model a little bit so I can see the end because that's where I'm going to attach the wings. I'm going to click Start New 2D Sketch, and then I'm going to click the surface I want the sketch to be on. In this case, I want it to be on the end of that little support material. The camera will navigate around, and now I'm looking at the side of my project. The shape I want is a kind of like I think it's a hexagon. Let's go count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is in fact a hexagon. Coming back over to my part, in my drawing tools, I have a line, a circle, an arc, and a rectangle. To get a hexagon, I need to click the drop-down arrow on rectangle and look for something called a polygon. Polygon means many sides, and I can choose how many sides I want. I could click in here and I could say 5 sides, but I want 6 sides. Then I come over and I'm going to click on the face of the cube, and I'm going to drag out until it's about the size I want. I think I want it to be a little bit bigger than my cockpit. Once I'm happy with its size, I can click again. Using my navigation key to look around, that looks pretty good to me. And so I can click Finish Sketch. All that's left to do is extrude this sketch. And I need to kind of look at my model from a different angle using my navigation key to decide, is it too big? Is it not big enough? And just by chance, I really like that. I think that's a good look. All right. We now have one wing on a TIE fighter. And that's pretty neat. But there's 2 wings on a TIE fighter. We could click Start New 2D Sketch and click the side and make another wing. But there's an easier way. I'm going to use this mirror command right here. By clicking mirror, I first select the feature that I want to mirror, which is this wicked sweet wing. And then I can click these different planes and I'll get a preview of the mirror. All right, so X and Y plane doesn't look like a lot's happening. I see a little bit of lines going there. X and Z plane, for me, moves it over to the other side. That's exactly where I want it. So I'm going to say, okay. Now we can look around. This is really neat. I've just made myself a TIE fighter. If you want to experiment a bit more and try different things, I would love for you to do that. I'm going to include a little bit of other details I might add to this TIE fighter after I'm done talking right now.